Yeah. See, we building something special straight from scratch. Always bringing awareness to you, cause we always got your back. Self-improvement is the emphasis, patience is an element. Now is the time for you to unlock your potential excellence. To all the good people all around the world, you are tuning in, listening to, absorbing, consuming, rotating, eating, drinking, and other consuming ways of to the best podcast in the world today. And we are just getting started. Welcome to episode 21, 9 plus 10, 21. Remember that joke? Of unlocking your potential excellence. Can I get a round of applause one time? Circles only, 2D shapes, not 3D, not spheres. Because once again, my name is Brian.
Oh, my name is Tevin.
Why does it take you so long every time? And this
I forgot.
Who else am I talking to? And this podcast is all about bringing awareness to various topics and issues to help guide and educate anyone and everyone in finding their potential to be excellent in this world. And without further ado, Tevin, how are you? Roses and thorns, one good thing, one bad thing. What's going on in your days?
One good thing. I'm alive. You know, it's always nice. And I've been sleeping a lot, which is good and bad. Bad for my education, good for my health.
I feel that.
So yeah, that's a thing. But one bad thing, I've been sleeping a lot. It's bad for my education. So I'll just use that for both.
Yeah, I see. It's interchangeable. I see what you mean. In regards to being interchangeable, change, money, finances, are you saving more than you're spending? Are you purchasing the right things? Are you spending too much on things? Are your expenses high, low, between 1 to 3? How well are you strengthening and maintaining your finances, decimals included?
2.6783. Yeah, that's what I'm feeling right now because like I don't have a source of income. I'm not working. Kind of just spending. Trying to spend only when necessary, of course. But even then, when you don't have a source of income and you just see your bank account go down, it's not the most positive thing.
Yeah. If you wanted Tevin's bank account to go up, hop on the Patreon, patreon.com/UYPE. That's
Do as you wish.
patreon.com/UYPE. Emotional, friendships, relationships, girlfriends. How are you maintaining your relationships in a professional, social, and personal setting? Are you cutting off do you need to cut off or let loose of a couple people, or do you have everyone that you need right now in your circle between 1 to 3 decimals included?
I think I'm good. I have to think about it. Yeah, I have to think about it. I think I'm good. There's this black guy's birthday. It was like, I think yesterday or something.
Who's that? That's me. You already know, man.
I might have to cut him off, but like other than that,
how you finna cut me off a day after my 20th birthday? That's so crazy. But you know what? That's not the really best transition to use that word. So let me just get right into it. Mental health, mental well-being.
Were you gonna call me crazy?
No, because that would have been a bad transition, and the last thing I need is to get canceled before 2022 comes. Anyway, mental health, mental well-being, your mental well-being, mental resilience. How are you in regards to taking care of your mental health, hearing feedback from people you don't know, hearing feedback from people you do know, and hearing feedback that is actually constructive criticism? How are you maintaining your mental well-being between 1 to 3 decimals included?
I'm gonna start giving myself more credit. I'm gonna say mental health is like a 2.98, 96. Yeah. That's what I'm feeling like right now. I think I have a pretty good mental, gauge of like how I feel, and I'm pretty good at taking criticism, learning, adapting. If I remember the criticism and I internalize it, I'll probably be able to apply it to my life. So Yeah,
You're
same. Mentally, I'm pretty good.
You already know, man. You already know. You know what else is good? Hopefully, physical. What's your body saying? Your style, your clothing, your temple, everything that you consume, everything. Do you work out? Do you need to take care of your body more? What about your clothing style? Everything that has to do with your physical appearance. How well are you doing your best to make sure you're living your best life physically? 1 to 3, decimals included.
2.86, 2.8653. Yeah, 53. Um, 4.3, 4.3. But like, I haven't worked out in a minute, which is mostly because I'm lazy. But like I'm eating healthy. Clothing, I've had sauce for a minute now. Once I acquired it, I never let it go. So
You go to the grocery store.
yeah.
Yeah.
Um,
Nah, you agreed. You agreed. All right, pretty
but
solid. Pretty
yeah,
solid.
physically I'm good.
All right, bet. Spiritually, hey, we don't go deep into religion because we know how that gets. But for you specifically, how well are you maintaining your spiritual relationships with whomever, whatever in your life? How well are you maintaining that?
Yeah, I would say this ties into my mentally. I'll give that like a 2.9896, slightly lower than my mentally by like one, no, 2/1000th of a place or 10,000th, whatever. Um, you're more mad that I remembered the mentality number to even minus it by 2. That's what you're mad about. Um,
Just
but
wanna.
yeah, pretty good relationship. You never did that in person, so you're not gonna hit me. You never did that
Oh
in
yeah,
person.
yeah, but that was the old Brian. This is the new Brian. But you know what? I am appreciative about the new Brian, the 20-year-old new Brian. About you asking me how I am doing. So my roses and thorns. Oh man, good
Never
thing.
gonna
You
answer.
know, like I just said, your boy just turned 20 yesterday, February 27th. You already know, man. 20-year
Yeah,
old.
yeah. You're
You already know what it
old.
is. Grateful for another year.
Stoned.
Wait, what? Grateful for another year. Grateful for another day. All the love was being shared from all the people, all the humans that are in my life, which I appreciate and I'm grateful for.
I never
One
shared you any
that,
love.
yeah, you did.
No, I didn't.
You said
I said happy
happy
early
20
21st birthday.
first. So
I
dumb.
celebrated the next birthday. I didn't celebrate the one that just
That is
passed.
so crazy. That is
Take
so
it in.
crazy.
I
But
wanted you to notice it and be angry about it. We didn't give any
no,
satisfying
because
reaction.
like you started sharing a bunch of memes of old embarrassing pictures of me, so that kind of got me
Yeah.
happy. And then I kind of segued into that chat, and I kind of was still happy because I wasn't really angry. But I'll take the love. I'll
Darn.
take it. I'll take the love. But there is no bad thing going on in my life. You know, I love the camera equipment, the tripod, all the stuff that my family blessed me. New quality, good content coming soon with whatever I use the camera for. Really grateful for that. Yeah, so no bad thing, man. No bad thing. I'm blessed. I'm blessed. F.E.M.P.S, financial. Thanks for asking again, man. Financial. Oof. Same as same. It's probably 2.8 out of 3, you know, just trying to save money as much as I can. Not trying to spend on anything that I don't really need. Only things that I really need in my life. The essentials. um, Emotional relationships. Yeah, things are good, man. I got after that birthday, after seeing all the love. See, that's like a 2.94 out of 3. Pretty good relationships going on. Nothing really much to say about that. Like I'm surrounded by good people. Mentally, oof. Oh my, the devil is trying to test me with all these deadlines and midterms and final exams next month and finding co-op for the summer. Ooh, the devil is testing me, man. But I would say slightly hanging in there with a 2.45 out of 3, doing my best, slowly getting there, just trying to build more resilience. You know, God gives his toughest battles to his strongest warriors. You feel me? So God is strengthening me right now, going through the ringer, but it's an adjustment. It's something I gotta adapt to. But I know, as always, at the end of the struggle, there's only success and strength. So it's a process that I'm going through right now. What was it? Physical, getting back in the fitness game. I had a really big gut back in maybe September,
A
October.
true
So
African. A true African
LOL.
man.
slowly losing it. I'm slowly losing it. Getting back in the like working out regularly doesn't feel off or awkward or unnatural to me anymore. Like I'm not rusty anymore. Like I'm slowly getting back into that daily grind, and I'm really excited for what's to come. Style, oof. It's a work in progress. I'm not going out anywhere, so I
Again,
don't care. But
once COVID ends, we're gonna bring you to the store. We're gonna buy you clothes. I got you. I'm
and
not spending my money, but I'll just show you which clothes you
you
need
would
to
just
buy.
bring me to the store. You bring your wallet, but I'll
Yeah,
physically bring you
yeah.
to the store. Crazy, crazy. But yeah, I'm just saving up my money. I'll slowly acquire more clothes and shoes when I need to. But right now, I'm a simple guy. I don't really need much. I don't really go out. You feel me? Even
My
if I
guy,
did,
if you wait until you need to, you've already waited too long.
I know.
So
No, I'm slow.
preemptively,
I'll get like one shirt here and there, one pants here and there, one
mm,
shoe here and there. But man's got to save money. Man's got more
finish your
priorities. Feel
FEMS,
me?
finish your FEMS.
Yeah, man. Spiritual. The relationship with God is good, man. Just like I said with the mental, it's kind of similar to Tevin's connection. Like it's one and the same with me. Like spiritual, it's a struggle. I'm always questioning what God is doing to me. Like, why are you putting me through this? But I know again, I gotta trust him. If I didn't trust him before, then I would not be where I am today. And I still trust him today. So I'm trusting him, trusting the process. So I would say that's I don't think that's a physical. Physical is like a 2 point, maybe let's say 7.5 out of 3. Spiritual is like a 2.9 out of 3. And yeah, with all the good and the how are you's been done, Tevin, take it away with today's podcast.
Yeah, true. So, the more intellectual of you will know of this book written by this great, I think it was a Japanese or Chinese general, somewhere in East Asia. I wrote a book called The Art of War. That was the book that he talked about, where you discuss the type of tactics, and wars could be like, small battles, or it could be leading a nation against another nation. But similar to that, we're going to be discussing the art of communication, where communication could range from talking to your family members, the one to easy conversations, or it could range to giving presentations, talking to multitudes of people in more professional settings. So as we talk about the art of communication, we're going to talk about texting, emailing, FaceTiming, for the Apple users. I don't have an Apple
You're
device. Let's talk about work, social, friends, strangers, all the different types and different facets of communication, also including relationships.
Yep,
We'll give
yep,
everyone two
yep.
advice on that. So Brian,
That's me.
okay, we're gonna start off with the first question.
First
What
question.
mindset / foundation should one acquire when approaching a conversation with someone from, let's say, a
Mhm.
personal type of background?
Personal,
Yeah,
personal,
so like
personal.
friend, close friend.
Close friend. Oof. Okay, I would say I'm gonna go back to how I did it with, grade 9. When I went to Father in the Car, a lot of my elementary graduating class went to a whole different school. So I basically
Mm-hmm.
went to Father and Card with little to no friends. So I had to really,
Mm-hmm.
for the first time, actually know how to make friends. Like, see on the high school videos on YouTube, like I actually had to try to go through that process. So the mindset I tried to acquire was always try to be myself and always read the room, because when I went to car, I know like people in Toronto are relatively thick in the same ways. Like we have our own Toronto inside jokes. Scarborough, Burlington, all these other places have their own inside jokes because that's their city, right? So I know that relatively everyone in Toronto operates with the same mindset, but everyone is still different. So I would say read the room of who you're
Mm-hmm.
around. When I was first associating or trying to talk to people, when I tried to first make friends, I was kind of thrown off a bit because their attitudes, their characteristics were kind of the same foundation of like jokes and everything, but the things that they talked about was not as similar as the elementary conversation. So
Mm-hmm.
read the room and understand, who you're talking to, what kind of characteristics they have, and if it's like first glance, like you have to make the first approach, then the best thing you can do is always just be as polite as possible. When you're trying to talk to someone on the phone, like let's say you're at work or you're doing customer service, they have
Mm-hmm.
that nice polite voice.
Mm-hmm.
Start with that, but in your own voice. So like mine won't be like hi, my name is Brian Osei-Boateng, nice to meet you. It'll be like, hi, my name is Brian, nice to meet you. Like it'll be a natural voice tone, but in a more respectful way. So always aim to be respectful and polite right off the get, because respect is something that if you lose that, it's really hard to get back. So respect try and approach your first engagements or any social engagements with trying to be respectful, trying to be funny because everybody loves to laugh, and read the room and understand and be aware of how their characteristics are, how they talk in a certain way, how they act in a certain way. And from that very moment, once you approach yourself in a very respectful way, you understand what you're dealing with, then you can really make the decision if you actually should be associated with this person on a longer basis, or you should just separate from them slowly. Yeah, yeah.
Um, my dollar, because I don't have any cents. I only have dollars. So
Oh,
my
man,
one
I'm
two
big rich.
dollar worth of information worth of information would be kind of like similar to what Brian was saying for the more personal relationships that you're trying to build. Make sure you have a solid idea of like who you are as a person as best as you can. Because Brian talked about high school. In high school, he wasn't as confident as in who he was. But if you want to figure out who you are, go check out Miss Boss, as I call her. You guys know her as Miss Industrious. Go check out those line of podcasts to get a better sense of self. Um,
Mm-hmm.
but once you have a general idea of like who you are as a person, then try to figure out who blends well with you, right? Who blends well with that stage of who I am, and
Right, right.
who like do I feel like I can invest in as a person? Because when you spend your time with people, when you put your effort into somebody, you're investing in them as a person, right?
Yep.
It's kind of like a more professional way of thinking about it, but you are in a sense. And who do you want to invest in you? Because the qualities of the person investing in you will rub off on you, right? So just make sure you're always aware of stuff
Yeah.
like that.
Yeah.
Okay, from a more
I
social,
agree.
social aspect, you're at a jam, you're at a party, at a social gathering,
Mm-hmm.
you see a one-two white girl, sorry, Spanish girl, like on the side of
That's
the
so
room, and you
annoying.
want to go talk to
Any
her.
girl from any
Any female,
background,
any person you want to talk to. You don't have to be a female. You can see another person over there, just want to talk to
whatever
them.
you're into, whatever you're into.
Yeah, 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 yeah. And then but for this example, specifically Spanish, but like then let's just say other example, you're on like a group chat, social gatherings where you have a one-two connection. That's how you're at the party, that's how you're in the group chat, right? But it's more social, it's not as personal because you don't know a lot of the people that are there. So how do you
Yeah.
navigate that space?
Oh, that's so crazy. Um, well, you gotta just understand what your goals are. Like if I ever go to a party, a social
Mm-hmm.
gathering, that's what the cool kids
Mm-hmm.
say, the intellectuals say.
Yeah.
The first thing on my mind is to have fun. Like if I'm going to any sort of social gathering, fun party, whatever, I'm thinking about how I've worked hard for this many days, months, years, weeks, whatever, and it's time for me to actually have fun for once. No work, no meetings, no brainstorming. If things like come into my head, if thoughts come into my head, I'll quickly write it down and then put my phone away. Like I'm
Mm-hmm.
there to have fun. And I've noticed that people gravitate towards that funness. I know that's not a word, but they gravitate towards that. So like anytime I'm having fun doing my thing, vibing to the music, there are people who I don't even talk to. They just see me, they look at me, I'm like, yo, I like that guy. Yo, what's your name? What's your name?
Always
Like
love
that
fun,
kind
just
of
like
thing. They love that. And the people gravitate towards that. So the first thing I would always suggest is first of all, recognize if that's the social gathering for you. Because if it's not for you, you're gonna have a terrible time. But if it is for you, if you like to go to parties, if you like to go to social gatherings, if you like to go to anything that is hype and loud and um, and you want to make the most of the moment, and you also want to build some relationships, you could go and approach someone in the respectful way. Hey, my name is this, my name is that. But honestly, I would always suggest, especially if you're going by yourself, because if you're going with friends, you can easily mingle with other people with a group. But if you're going by yourself, again, just vibe to the music. Like whether like literally pretend nobody is there, and just vibe. Like if you're playing a track or a music or a song that you love, just vibe to it. I'm telling you, your energy will literally bounce off like wildfire all over the room, and at least one person will be like, yo, what's your name? I love you. I love your energy, all that stuff.
I love
So
you for a first interaction. That's
yo,
crazy.
it depends what
That's
the person's been consuming. You feel
that's
me?
okay. Okay. It's just a small
So
Christian get together. Yeah.
oh, Christian, oh, that's where, from that perspective.
Yeah.
Okay, from a more
Yeah.
quiet, low key, because when you're loud in the party, it's easy to kind of make friends. But from a quieter, from a more quiet social gathering, I don't know. We can Google the real word after.
Yeah.
Man, I would say
I would say find the group that has a lot of people, because even though
Mm-hmm.
everyone's scattered all over the place, there has to be at least one group with the most amount of people. And oh, and man, it actually really depends what the social gathering is, because like is it like a
Mm.
barbecue, is it like a
Mm.
conference, like, you know what I mean? Because like if it's like a barbecue, then you can kind of just like vibe to the music, eat your food, chill by the DJ. That's a good idea. Chill by the DJ and just vibe with your food, talk to the DJ for a bit, you know what I mean? And who knows, maybe that can get the party moving, party going a bit. Doesn't have to be loud and hype. So you can maybe chill by
Mm-hmm.
yourself. Chill by yourself and vibe to the music with your food or a drink. Chill by yourself with chill with the DJ with the food and the drink. Talk to him. Compliment the music, and before you know it, maybe someone who's also feeling uncomfortable and alone will come to the DJ as well because you're
LOL.
there.
So you're saying all men by the DJ booth are uncomfortable and alone, all
Well, because like if you have no one to talk to, the next best person to talk to that will actually talk to you and not give you the cold shoulder a bit is the DJ, because they have to be respectful, they have to be professional to the guest at hand. So
Mm-hmm.
the best thing you could do is vibe to the person that's making the music, that's playing the music, talk to him, vibe with him, eat your food, drink your drink, and who knows, maybe someone that's in the exact same position as you, that's feeling alone, lonely, wants to vibe with someone but doesn't really know how to approach someone, and they don't know who's lonely or who's with somebody, because you can't really, sometimes people hide that expression when you're in a social gathering, especially in a chill environment.
Mm-hmm.
Chill by the DJ, because you may find another person that's feeling just as lonely as you, and before you know it, you guys are communicating. Hey, you're here by yourself too? Yeah, I know, it's weird, right? Yeah, the music is good, right? Yeah, music is amazing. Hey, what's your this, what's your that? Before you know it, you guys are having a whole conversation. You guys are best friends just because you guys vibed off your loneliness. I know that
Best
sounds really
friends.
weird. Best
Best friends.
friends.
Calm down. Calm down.
You never know. Hey, you never know. I think I've heard a
Yeah, I
story.
guess.
Yeah, you never know. But like I would say vibe with the people, vibe with the person that has to be respectful to you. Like I think people be vibing with bartenders at social gatherings. That's because they feel a little lonely. So like I would say vibe with the person, the employee that has to be professional and respectful to you so they can have a decent
Mm-hmm.
conversation with you. And vibe with yourself. If you're bold, you can actually go up to someone. But I think again, just putting out good energy, positive energy from a body language perspective, making yourself open for conversations. If you actually want to talk to someone, will be the best way to attract anybody in any setting.
Mm. Okay. Yeah,
Yeah,
I agree with you. I was thinking about
really
anything
depends
to
how you
add,
give
but
it.
nah.
Yeah,
Nah,
you have
nah.
to you have to
That
be
makes sense.
adaptable.
Makes sense.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
So how would you go about approaching a conversation with somebody in a professional manner? Let's say we're in university, we go to workshops, networking, all that type of stuff, galas, or Zoom workshops, anything like that. But like, how would you go about approaching a conversation from a professional perspective, like lecture
Mm-hmm.
halls, whatever?
Well, in regards, I'm gonna little backtrack a bit. In
Mm,
regards to a virtual setting with personal and social, that kind of still approaches with the same way of just being respectful. And if you're texting someone, if you're emailing them, and stuff
mm-hmm.
like that. But in regards to professional, in regards to like talking to someone in person or being virtual, well, at least in a, let's say in a lecture hall scenario, like you're talking about in class or just like work itself.
A professional, just professional in general. Let's say you're talking to a professor, yeah,
Mm-hmm.
after a lecture, just talk to professor saying, "Oh, I didn't understand A, B, and C, but I understood A, B, and C. Could you like help me?" Or
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
we're going like to a job interview after the job interview because
Mm-hmm.
everybody kind of knows how to act during a job interview to an
Yeah,
extent.
yeah,
But
yeah.
like you can go to that, you can go into that too if you want to. But like after a job interview, the ones who kind of solo conversation that allows the interviewer to kind of remember you, so you're more likely to
Yeah,
get the job, stuff
yeah,
like that.
yeah.
Just formal conversations.
Yeah. I see what you mean. Well, the first thing is to always be as respectful when you pronounce their title. I
Mm,
remember Officer Chris when we had a minute distinction meeting with Mayor John Tory. Yes, you
mm,
can. Yes, he's in a comfortable. Less Trust 15 makes you feel comfortable when we bring on guests. So the first reaction from any of the kids is to say the first name, right? But the
mm.
best way you can always do is to say, "Hello, Mayor John Tory." Oh no, just call me John. That's the best way you can do, because you have no regrets with what you said, and they feel like kind of gassed up because they're saying their big title, but they're gonna bring themselves down a bit just to like make it more comfortable and natural. You know what I mean? So like the first thing you can always say is what their job title is, the professional title. until they say it's uncomfortable. They don't want you to say that, and then you kind of start with that conversation. Like that's just like the beginning of it. So like if someone approaching me and say, "Hey, Mr. Osei-Boateng," relax, just call me Brian. That would gas me up because I feel like, oh, big man, Mr. Osei-Boateng. Oh man, okay, I like this guy. I like this guy saying my big name and stuff like that. But just
No
calm
one's
down.
gonna walk up to you and say, "Mr. Osei, what?"
How do
No
you
one's gonna
know?
do all
How
of
do you
that. No,
know?
no
I'm
one's
I'm
gonna
gonna
say
wait till that
17
day and
syllables
show you this
to greet
podcast.
you. A whole 17 syllable last name.
Oh, it's not that African. But yeah, like
I
what
know.
if some like if you approach someone with their Mr. this or Mayor this or did or like if you say their job title first, that gives them that kind of like even just saying Mr. Osei-Boateng to myself gives me kind of a little bit of a
That's why I have to insult it, bring you back down.
it
It's
bring me
too
back
much.
down. But like start with that because that gives them that you always want to start off with a compliment or something nice to get them happy, to get them in a good mood. You want people in a good mood when they talk to you. You don't want them in a bad mood. That's
Yeah.
counterintuitive. You don't want that. But so basically, like you want to start with that approach, being nice, respectful, right? Respectful, polite, professional in the professional environment. And then when you transition into like the actual conversation itself, the foundation mindset I would acquire would be just be as concise and specific as possible. You don't want to be saying a lot this I don't like you don't want to be saying all these next type of I forgot the words, filler words I think they're called, but you don't want to say a lot of filler words. You want to talk slower. You want to enunciate more. You want to have proper grammar. You don't want to say want and you want to say I want to, like, you know what I mean?
Yes.
You want to sound more like a smart person. You feel me? Something I try to sound like every day when I'm in class, but God knows if I understand what's going on.
Well,
But you know what I mean? So like you want to start with that that respectful approach. Be enunciate on every word you say. Be specific and concise with every question or statement you make, so they're not confused on what you're talking about. Everyone has slang in every city, but in a professional environment there is no slang. There's slang, but it's that kind of slang that you need to understand and be adaptable to. Don't go to your professor in a Toronto and be, oh, what are you saying, professor? No, like, sir, professor, or professor this, how are you today? You're not gonna be like, yo, sir, what are you saying? You're not gonna say that like that. Like, no, that's not professional at all. They're gonna look at you and be disgusted at what they heard because that's not a professional way to approach someone and ask them, how are you? In Toronto, in your social group, you can say that all you want, but in professional group, you better cut that out and throw that out the door. So just recognize, again, kind of similar to what we said before, recognize the room you're in, recognize how you should approach someone. Like, should you be even more professional than you are? Should you be a little bit more relaxed? Should you talk a little bit faster? Do you have to talk a little bit higher because, like louder, because someone may not hear you properly, depending on the environment? So just read the room, read the person, and remember, being respectful and polite can always take you a long way, no matter who you talk to.
Facts.
Yeah.
And kind of just calling somebody by their full title to make the full loop around. Calling somebody their full title kind of acknowledges all the work they've put in, all the effort they've put in, and it automatically puts you on a good foot, like with the person. And if somebody says don't call them by their title because it makes them feel like, trying to make they're trying to make the interaction more comfortable for both parties, then don't force it and then call them by their title because then you're just making it weird. Just call them by their title until they say not to, basically.
Here, listen properly, because if they say something and you hear it but you don't listen to it and then you do the same mistake, they're gonna start to get mad. But yo, I told you not to call me by this name. And that's the last thing you want, especially in a professional environment.
Actual. Okay. Next question. How should one approach being their authentic self when you have, let's say, when you have to be adaptable to, let's say, a professional type of interaction?
Yeah.
How do you be genuine in a professional interaction?
Man, it's a big adjustment because professional is so difficult. I'm still learning with this as I try to find co-op for summer. There's so many skills. Like I try not to put too much pressure on myself, because even all of the advisors always say, you know, you're not an engineer, you're not an automation engineer yet, you're still a student, so they expect you to be a little bit inexperienced in certain things. But I have this big pressure, like, oh my gosh, like I think about what my past grades were, what, how much knowledge I really have, this, like, do I have to be a student, this, like, do I have to talk like this, like, so it's so hard to kind of be who you want to be authentically in a professional environment, when in just to break it down to the nitty gritty, you have to be the best at what you do. Because in a social environment, it doesn't matter what grades you have, it doesn't matter how much money you have, it doesn't matter how much style, how many girls or guys you've been with, it doesn't matter. If you are you, people will still gravitate towards that energy. There are certain things I haven't done that Tevin does, that Tevin has, and there's certain things Tevin has done that I haven't done, and people still gravitate towards our energy as if we're equal. So like the thing is, like, in professional environment, it's so hard to really be yourself sometimes. At least for me personally, because there's so much expectations to who you need to be, how you need to talk, the accomplishments that you should have had but you missed out on them because of ABC reasons. So I would say what I'm kind of adapting to and what I'm trying to learn and trying to practice every day is to recognize who you are in regards to where you are in your certain professional setting. So for me, for example, would be engineering. If I'm trying to apply for co-op and go to job interviews and all these things, I'm gonna try my best to be as honest, being honest as possible, and where I've been, where I am now, and where I'm trying to be, while also combining my personal interest into my profession. So they also know that, okay, yes, he hasn't had the best success in ABC naturally, because not everyone's gonna have smooth ride to success. Everyone's gonna have their own bumps, their own wins and losses. You feel me? So if you approach someone in a professional setting when you're trying to be your authentic self, the best thing I can suggest is to always be honest from the beginning. Always be, again, honest with where you've been, where you're trying to go, and where you're trying to be in the future, while also tying in your own personal interests. Because when you tie in your own personal interests, when you're honest, people don't have high expectations of you to do something when you know you can't fulfill them. And when they hear about what you've done in the past, your wins, your losses, they may be disappointed that you weren't successful in something right from right from the beginning. But your personal interest, your motivation, your whatever, your who you are as a person will allow them to trust your process and being the best version of yourself in the future, which in turn which allow them to invest into you and allow them to give you the opportunities that you need. So have I had the best academic success over the past 2 years as an automation engineering student? No. But will I do my best to make it even better in the future? You're damn right I will. So going into these interviews right now, going into these applications, I am nervous because I wasn't as amazing as I know I could have been in first year, but I know all the struggles I've been through in first year have made me a stronger, more resilient person that I am now. And I'm even more confident that the people who did succeed in first year, I'm going to outwork them in ABC things in the future because I've built that resilience over time. I've lost and now I'm going to win now, while they've been winning. So when they lose now, God knows where they're going to be 5 years from now. So I'm basically going into the mindset with everyone that I'm going to show you that I may not have been good in the past, but if you invest into me long term, you will not regret it. Don't look at this person that has been succeeding right now. I mean, right now, but they may fail in the future. Yes, I may have failed in the past, but you're damn right, I'm going to be more successful than that person in the future. So I'm trying to show people that they have to make that long-term investment to me and show people that they got to trust your process, but you have to be honest and be aware of where you're trying to be in the future from the very beginning.
Well, you kind of, the avenue that you kind of went down with that kind of reminds me of what Miss Alvaji was saying. Shout out to Miss Alvaji. But like she was our grade 12 English teacher. That doesn't matter.
Teacher, yeah.
But she was basically just trying to break down that her main focus for the difference between like the AP academic and applied levels is that for university, she's trying to prepare us for failure because she knows that we're going to experience failure, especially the AP and academic students or the higher echelon of the academic students who are not as used to academic failure because they kind of put themselves in that box that they now attribute their own intelligence and their own personal well-being and their mental health and their emotional health is attached to the grade value they receive after a test or the grade value that they receive for a course within high school. And she's well aware that throughout university, you're going to get bad marks, right? So when you get a bad mark and your emotional stability is attributed to that mark and it's low, your emotional stability is low, you just messed up, right?
Yep.
So that's why she felt more confident in the applied or the lower echelon of the academic students, right? Because they're used to bad marks, right? But as long as they have the credentials, they can still make it into the program, even if they have slightly lower marks. But because they're used to those bad marks, they could then rise above it and they receive it later on in the future.
Yep.
So that's more of a simpler example for what Brian was saying. Okay. So how do you be authentic in like social gatherings? You know, the jams, the parties. You know, everyone's trying to put their best foot forward. You know, you might be wearing all this flashy jewelry, but that's all the jewelry you own in your entire household. You low-key stole some jewelry from your pops. But like, how do you be your authentic self in social gatherings when there's always this constant pressure, especially within our age demographic? There's always constant pressure to show out, show up, you know, be bigger and better than yourself type of thing.
Yeah. Flaunt for social media. I see
Yeah.
what you mean. Again, just you have to figure out. You have to be honest. Like in a professional setting, you're trying to show people, at least from my perspective, who haven't really succeeded much in the past and trying to succeed more in the future. I try to show people that yes, I haven't been the best in the past, but if you invest into me long term, I'll be really successful in the future just because of who I am, my principles, what I've been through, etc., etc. But in social settings, people invest into you short term. If you're it, like if you have it, they're like, okay, I'm with you. I'm rocking with you. They may disappear from your life tomorrow, but they're here right now because professionals are more long-term contract signing. You know, you're here, you're staying for this amount of time. But for social settings, your friends that you're with today could be the same friends that leave you and betray you tomorrow, or the same friends that you love even more the next day. So like it varies with social settings. So again, for this short-term engagement or possible, I should say short-term engagements in a social setting, you got to be honest. You got to be honest of who you are. Don't flaunt for anybody. Nobody cares. Nobody
LOL.
cares. Like I be posting my stuff on Instagram and stuff like that for me, for my future kids, so they can see what Papa, Granddad Brian was doing when he was at my age. Because I feel this, and I need to get
If your
motivation.
videos are still up when you're a grandfather, then I'm disappointed in future technology. Your videos should not exist when you're that old.
But you know what I mean. I'm doing this for me. Everything I do is for a purpose to inspire someone or for my own personal documentary of whatever. So when you go out and you're rocking the best things or you're trying to sound like this person, trying to walk like that person, when you're really not that guy or that girl, why are you wasting your time? It's like putting on a mask. It's like you're acting. You can only act for so long. Like you can only, it's draining on your energy. It's so like, it's more rewarding to go out in a social setting. No one said you can't change who you are. You just have to make sure you find the best version of yourself, because people go out and people go out and be this person and people love it, and but that's not their authentic self. But then they go out with their authentic self and people hate it or they don't give enough love. What people are missing is that you have to find what's the best version of you and who and what social setting and what social circle you should be hanging around with. Because if people don't like you for who you are, then that's not the circle you should be with. You should be with those kind of people who actually adore you and appreciate you, because it's so much more rewarding and so much more liberating to go out and
Good
be
music.
who you need to be, and feel the things you need to feel and do the things you want to do because you love to do it, while being with the right people, instead of going out with these people who seem cool or better or whatever and putting on this facade, and God knows where you'll lead to, because you're trying to go down a path that's not really you, that's not really yours. You're walking down someone else's path while your path of life is empty with nobody walking on it.
Facts. Kind of the worst case scenario of that is when you kind of get into the wrong crowd, trying to impress other people. You've kind of gotten popular. You've taken the short and easy route, and you've not been genuine to yourself, and you've gotten popular through these inauthentic means. And now you're in this social group that are doing things that you don't want to do, going down maybe breaking laws, of course, that's the extreme, but breaking laws you want to break, right? Just to keep being a part of that group, just to keep being, cool, quote unquote, all right? So just remember,
Mm-hmm.
always stay true to yourself, be authentic. If you want to be a criminal, at least be an authentic criminal. Be smart about it.
Mm-hmm.
But like, but like from a more personal perspective, personal can be like family, close friends, relationships. Just like, how do you remain authentic in those environments?
And for personal and for
Yeah,
friends
yeah,
and
yeah,
stuff.
yeah,
Oof. I mean, if they're your friends, then they should already know who you are as a person,
yeah. Mhm,
and you just gotta figure out how to be as consistent as possible in who you are, and not allow certain random things to influence you in the wrong way. Because if they
mhm,
love you and they're in your life right now, then you shouldn't have to really change who you are. Instead of anything, you should just allow that to improve yourself even more, to feel even
mhm,
more love for yourself and for others around you. There's not really much adapting or much changing you got to do. You just got to make sure you're maintaining what you have, because it's easy to kind of get caught up in what you're in and who you are, and life and work and everything, and before you know it, those relationships fade away. So what you have to do is just remember the things and remember the people that are always in your life that makes you feel happy, and figure out what specific things daily you got to do, that are contextual for your character and your style of life, whatever it may be, to maintain those relationships, to maintain those bonds and
mhm.
love for one another.
Mm. Factual, factual. Um, Communicating authentically uh, within a close friendship, I personally find, from my experience, is a lot easier than communicating authentically within a relationship. Um,
Yeah.
it's vice versa. Marriage, obviously, ideally would be a mixture, but the best parts of being a best friend and a partner romantically. But like in
Mm-hmm.
the kind of dating that I've experienced, being generally authentic is not the easiest thing because you're always trying to just be your best. And sometimes you don't have the self esteem that our authentic self is our best self, right?
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
once you work towards that mindset of who I authentically am is the best version of me, then that becomes a lot easier. And communicating from a more authentic
Yeah.
standpoint within a relationship is way easier.
Mm-hmm.
And
Mm-hmm.
for me personally, I don't really care what my best friends think because they know who I am. So I guess that's why it's easy to be authentic. Because
Yep.
if you're
Yep.
my best friend and you know who I am, then it sucks. It's just I am who I am.
Yep. Yep. Yep.
Okay, how to effectively balance communicating with the following relationships, social and personal, when you have your like a professional job, right, on a busy basis. So let's just say I'm trying to change this to our age group and our demographic. Let's just say you're working all the time. You get the co-op, it's summertime. You see mats on the gram. You're at the
Yeah.
beach. You're at jams.
Yeah.
COVID. As soon as you get your co-op, COVID ends. Right. So you can't go. Everyone's outside. Everyone's having fun. You know what I mean? How do
Yo.
you communicate when you have such a busy work-life balance from like a social and
Oh
personal perspective?
man. Oh man. Imagine as soon as you get the co-op, May 1st, 2021. COVID is over. Everyone's in the green zone or whatever. And like, no, wait, what? Oh man. Balance, balance, balance. Again, kind of similar to what we said before, finding out what you can do to be consistent, but you have to be adaptable. So let's say you try to talk to this person 3 times a week, but now you have to
Mm,
talk to this person once a week. But maybe you have to bring in more oomph to the conversation than you usually do, because you're trying to make an impact on them. You're trying to maintain those relationships, those bonds, but you can only talk to them for a certain time frame, or maybe at different time frames. Let's say instead of talking in the morning, in the afternoon, you guys are more awake. You got to talk in the nighttime when people are kind of tired, when you're kind of tired, when they're kind of tired. So again, figuring out the specific things that are not gonna, I guess, come in the way of your job, um, to also make sure you're always maintaining those relationships. So let's say again, instead of talking in the morning, because you have work, you're going to talk in the nighttime, and you're going to bring in more energy to the conversation, more jokes to the conversation. Maybe send them a few little stuff throughout the days, maybe a couple memes, a couple flowers, a couple this, a couple that, depending on what kind of relationship this kind of is. And recognizing actually how much you work. Like, do you actually have time for certain people? Like when you work and you're really busy, you really figure out who your real friends are, who you actually want to spend an extra second with when you're just so tired from work. Like, let's say your contact list is 100 people, but you really need to talk to 5 people on a daily basis. So it's figuring out the specific things you got to do to maintain those relationships that don't come in the way in regards to your time frame of how long you work for. See if your job is just too busy for you, or like see if your job is busy on a daily basis, like forever, or it's only busy for like a certain time frame, so it's like okay because it's only temporary. And recognizing who your real friends are, who you really need to talk to, because yes, you have a lot of good friends, but if they see you're busy and they don't get a phone call from you or a text from you or a meme from you or whatever from you, and they're not fazed by it, then they should respectfully understand that, and you should not respectfully feel guilty at all. So again, figuring out who exactly are your real friends and how you can make time for those people in your life, that doesn't take too much time out of your days because you have work now.
Mhm. And I also want to add that it depends on who the friend is, because certain
Yeah.
people are just more they're more communicative than others. They need more interactions per
Yeah.
month, per week, per day, sometimes even than others, right? I'm more of a
Yeah.
friend that you can put on autopilot. I know you're there. I don't really need a meme every day, but some mans need a meme every day. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
All every day, or else they don't feel like in their heads that you
Right.
guys are friends. For people more like, for introverts more like me, I'm just like, I know you're alive, so it's good, it's Gucci. When you want to talk to me, you can talk to me. When I want to talk to you, I'll call you. It's that simple. As long as both parties aren't busy, obviously. But yeah, next question. Okay, so how do you communicate from a more proactive type of standpoint when someone is being very nice to you, you know, and let's just say, to give a more example that you can relate to more. Let's just say professional first. Someone's being a bit too nice to you. You're at the office, you know, the automation engineering office. I don't
LOL.
know if you guys even have offices or what you guys. Okay, not important. But like you're at the office and Susie Q from
Bro.
marketing, Susie Q from marketing is being a bit too friendly. You know what I mean? Like, how do you communicate respectfully, not setting that you're being a bit too friendly? You know what I mean? Like, how do you communicate news that somebody else might not want to hear or might not be pleasant to somebody else from a more professional setting?
Oh, Susie. That's like the go-to name. That's a perfect name, actually. Man,
The white
too
name.
nice. Crazy. I don't know how to respond to that one. But in regards to the other question, uh, too nice. Like, are we talking about like she has malicious? Actually, you know what? Let's just assume that we don't know anything. So if
Yes,
someone's just
yes.
being really
You
nice.
cannot assume malicious intent unless you have reason to assume malicious intent, and we don't have.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
didn't
yeah,
give you malicious
exactly,
intent.
exactly. So if they're just being really nice to you,
Mm-hmm.
and they're complimenting your work and they're applauding you and sending you a
Mm-hmm.
bunch of congratulatory stuff and things and all that stuff, I would honestly just be like, yo, take it. Like if you actually recognize how much work you've actually been doing, and not in regards to like, oh, I barely been putting in work, but they still praise me. But actually like look at the job description and look at what you've been doing. Like, are you actually doing A, B, C, D things? And
Mm-hmm.
if you are actually doing it and they're praising you for it, then applaud yourself. Like people forget that people are so easy to get into the negative, and like see how we even kind of said, oh, is there malicious intent? That's a
Yeah,
quick
we
negative.
assume negative intent.
That's the quick negative things
Yeah.
that we as humans have tried to do as human nature. But like, why not just appreciate the love? Like
Mm.
like when it was my birthday yesterday, when I be seeing people saying
It was
happy
your birthday
birthday.
yesterday? madness.
It was still.
That's crazy.
But like
You're
imagine.
like what, 14 right now?
Yeah, almost 200 pounder 14-year-old. Feeling like the Rock
Yeah.
at 15.
You're almost 200 pounds. Wait, pause. You're almost 200 pounds.
I don't know.
Wait.
I don't know. Probably like
When-
170,
when-
180,
okay,
190.
Continue.
I don't know. The point is,
200 pounds.
it's so easy to get into the negative. It's so easy to kind of think about why they being nice to me. Like,
Mhm.
why you buying me this thing? Why you doing this for me? And just be like,
Mhm.
yo, I deserve this thing. I'm a king. I'm a queen. I deserve this love, this compliment, because gratitude is the best thing it's the best act practice exercise that you could give to yourself to make
Mhm.
to make you feel a lot better, because changing your perspective on how you want to see the world, how you want to see this thing, how you want to see this situation is the best way to feel all the love that you need to feel inside. Because if
Mhm.
someone is actually praising you, and you're not even breaking a sweat, let's just say, and you're
Mhm.
just doing your thing and they're praising you for it, take the love, take the compliment, allow that to give you a 0.05% smile on your face or 20% smile on your face, depending on how you take compliments. But do not take it as a negative. Like, obviously, keep your guard up, because people like
Yeah.
to, people like
What was that?
to.
Your guard?
I don't know. People like to
Keep your
do a little
guard
bit of
up.
a U-turn. People like to switch up real quick, but if they're generally being nice, and like Tevin said, like if they have not given you an actual reason to be malicious or evil or conniving or anything like that, just take the compliment and cut. It's
Yeah,
that
yeah.
simple, man.
If you get blessed, just praise God and move on. To be honest, don't question it. You know what I mean?
You're
So how do you do this? How do you do the same thing? How do you just kind of keep your guard up, be aware, but at the same time be open to accepting the happiness and positivity in your life that other people might bring? How do you do that from a social perspective? How do you
man.
accept that positivity? Also, keeping on the balls of your feet, athletic stance, so you can be able to step out of there
Athletic
if anything
stance.
happens.
Oh man, so social and personal. Again, you have to recognize who you're getting it from. I know you shouldn't really always think like that, but in this case, you should from a social perspective. Because at least from a professional setting, they know that like it's a professional, like ABCD tasks. If you do it, good job. If you don't, then you're fired. So like you gotta figure out these things, and you approach it like that. But for social, again, short term, it can like one relationship like can be short term 1 second and a long term
Mm-hmm.
the next second. So it really
Mm-hmm.
varies with friends and dating and everything. But the
Yeah,
best thing I could
that's
always
the difference between
suggest.
dating and marriage. Yeah.
Yeah, so basically, like exactly. So anyway, but the point is, you have to figure out. You're throwing me off. You have to
I
figure
know.
out. You have to figure out who it's coming from, because if you figure out who it's coming from, then you could generally know. Okay, this person actually rates me. This person actually is giving me the love I need, and show them that love. Like people, like same thing with the professional.
Mm-hmm.
Show them that you actually appreciate it. Like if someone says you're an A-star worker, you're super this, you're amazing with that, you're like that. Don't be like, okay, thanks. That's it. Like at least show a bit of love. Like because it's one thing to
I thought that
give
was
love.
sufficient.
No, you need more than that. Like it's one thing to like give love, but and receive it, but also show your appreciation for that love too, because that is it's just more love that's just putting out in the air, more appreciation for you. It's not even like you're putting in work because you have to compliment this person. Just be like, thank you for the compliment or something like that. Like just show and appreciate that love more when you're in that social setting. Like really show your friends that you appreciate that compliment. Show your girl, your guy, whatever, that you appreciate that compliment. And again, remember who it's coming from, because if it's that two timing person across the street, then you know when they compliment you, it's not really authentic. But when that person compliments you, you know that's genuine. So just recognize and filter between the two, and appreciate that love and show it instead of just shrugging it off. Because if you keep shrugging off compliments and always taking negativity, where's your life going to lead to? A very negative, steep downhill of sadness. And we don't want that. We want to be happy and exciting and amazing and filled with all the love.
Good, good, good. My only thing I would ever have to add is from like a steady relationship perspective. Um, oftentimes I find myself, even close friends, I find it very difficult to kind of like accept positivity, because like I don't know what it is, but like I cringe when I get positivity sometimes.
I see what you mean. I see what you mean.
It's just very difficult to be like, to like accept it and take it. You know what I mean?
Probably because of all the attention. Like you're a low key guy, and I feel the
Yeah,
same thing too.
yeah.
Like honestly, if I didn't have some sort of documentary social mindset with social media and branding and stuff like that, I would not post anything. I wouldn't even post as my birthday. I don't even want to post for my birthday. Like, but there's certain things I have to do it for understandable professional business
Yeah.
personal reasons, but I see why. Like I'm a low-key guy, like all this love and attention and it's not for me. Like I don't like put the attention on someone else, like and I get
Yes,
camera
yes.
shy,
That's why you're the figurehead of this, and I'm just here.
and
But
that's why
like
I hate you for
when
that.
but like
Putting featuring Brian, presented by Brian, you're in the thing too, foolishness. And the
hey, it
end
works for
credits on
me.
YouTube.
But like I edit the videos, I control the narrative. Enough said. But
Mm.
like even when I'm complimented like for my physical appearance for like schoolwork, it was a big thing when I was going to university, and my grandma, we were having like a ceremony at church, and my grandma had to speak for a couple minutes about me. That was so painful. I'm just there standing beside her like,
Or
you
just
said enough, fam. Like we can go. And like I before the thing, I legit told her like I'm giving you 2 minutes, and I was there timing. And I don't have a watch at the time. It was my phone. I was there timing it 2 minutes, and as soon as the 2 minutes finished, I looked at her and I'm like, "We're finished, fam," because it was that painful for me. I just don't like being in that space.
Yeah, I feel
Getting
you. I
praised.
feel you. How to handle that? Well, you have to remember who you are. Like in
I
this
guess.
specific setting, you personally have to get used to that because
Yeah.
if we're building this brand and we're trying to go global and do this, you're gonna you're gonna have to get used to that. But for people who are not always in the media in a global setting and they're just doing their thing, but they just keep getting praised because they're just that guy and that girl. Again, you have to find the bare minimum of what is acceptable for a no problem or no of a thank you for doing this and yeah, no problem. Like find that bare minimum of when you have to like respond to that compliment, because maybe someone can just be like give you a compliment and then you just say, oh yeah, thank you so much, and then that's enough. They won't feel like, oh, you're not taking in the compliment, you ungrateful child or whatever like that. You are actually appreciated. So you have to find that bare minimum, that sweet spot, because not everybody is, oh, I love you, I love always expressive and I love the attention on them. So you have to find what that bare minimum sweet spot is, where you could say your thank yous and show your appreciation for that compliment, while not having to go above and beyond of someone that you're not, because again, you're trying to be authentic. But crack a smile one time, because even though the words may be brief, you retract the smile. Even if the words may be brief, if the smile is there, if the body language is
Body
there,
language.
that sweet spot is going to be a lot easier to reach, because even though the words are short, but if you show like your thanks and appreciation through your body language, then that will quickly, keep the spotlight on you for only like a hot second, and then boom, it'll move to the next person.
That's definitely something I've noticed. Body language is very high, it's a very high percentage of communication and how we communicate. And being through Zoom, I feel bad for the profs. Like I really, especially since I've presented things before. I presented on through Zoom, even without Zoom. I can't. It doesn't compare. Like it's presenting through Zoom is just so much worse, especially
So
because of the
much
body
worse.
language and the response, and you don't know how you're doing. You can't gauge anything when giving a presentation. Because my heart goes out to our profs. Um, but like, hello. But like, how do you communicate proactively? Remember, proactively. So you're the one making the initiating move when someone's being disrespectful from like a professional, social, or personal standpoint. You know what I mean? So let's just say Susie Q was at the water cooler talking to Joe. And Job is there too. And then they're talking ish, right? And then your homeboy Ezekiel is walking by the water cooler, and he hears all this ish. He hears all the ish that Susie Q is chatting to Joe and Job, right? And then like, how do you go about proactively trying to resolve a situation when someone's being disrespectful to you?
That's so crazy. Yo, this work environment is crazy.
Yeah.
Proactively being when someone's being disrespectful. Again, figure out and talk to yourself. Think about it about from the perspective of if this situation is resolved and you look back at the situation, do you have any regrets? Will you have any regrets? Because
Mm-hmm.
everything you do, you have to make sure that you have no regrets in what you do after the engagement is over. Because
Mm-hmm.
there are certain things in this world that when you do this thing once, it is over for your life, whether it's from
Mm-hmm.
a legal standpoint, a professional standpoint, or a social standpoint. So you have to make sure that you are not you don't feel any feeling of regret after your whole situation engagement is over. And with that being said, then you can be like, okay, I'm not gonna start cussing at this person because I'm gonna regret that after. Um, let's approach it with a professional way. Let's approach it with a respectful way, with an open ear. Because the one thing that you always have to do is someone's throwing a bunch of negativity at you in a professional setting, because you have to listen. You can't just walk away. That's a different conversation with social and personal. But for a professional, and you have to hear all this negativity. You have to just be in this moment and just like take it in to conduct a response. The best thing you could do is to have the body language that you're always listening to what they're saying. Because if they say something that is untrue and you miss that and they complain to management or something, you won't be able to conduct the proper response
Mm-hmm.
to defend to fight their argument. I forgot the word, to fight their argument. So listen to all the words, the facts, the statistics, whatever the argument is from what they're saying. Be respectful and polite with everything that they're with your body language when they speak to you. Lower your voice tone. Don't cuss. Be professional, relax, talk slow, enunciate. Because when they're yelling at you and da, 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 but you're calm, cool, and collected, you have no regrets, especially when there's cameras. Especially when there's cameras, because if your body language is set, you're listening to what everything they said. You know, and you're being honest. You're being honest with who they are as a person, how they're responding to you, and what best things you got to say to resolve the situation. You're gonna have no regrets because you act professional, you acted polite. Heck, if you're being super nice and polite and someone's being mean to you, a lot of people are gonna give you sympathy, which are gonna be on your side. But that's a kind of a different, like, whose side I should pick type perspective. But nonetheless, if you listen to everything they said and you're being honest with what you say, and you're being professional and relaxed and calm, cool, and collected, and you're not cussing at them, then it's the best approach and foundation you could do. But the last thing I can't really say is what you say in the situation. So you have to make sure what you say is the best things that could resolve this argument, whether or not you are the victor or the loser, whatever, who gets fired or who gets on probation or get fined or whatever the argument is. So you have to accept that whatever someone gets mad at you at, you have to be willing to take any or no repercussions or consequences.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So how do you do the same thing from like a social gathering perspective? You know what I mean? Like this is
Oof,
more of like,
yeah.
let's say a jam party, school. High school is a big one. Less so for university. I
Yeah,
don't know about you, but for me, I
yo.
just talk to people less. High school is a big one where like rumors, toxicity, all of that was spreading.
Oh,
Like how do you proactively communicate and deal with disrespect in like a more social setting?
yeah. High school, for that reason, is the reason why high school is such a terrible experience for so many people, just
Mm-hmm.
because of that and the whole mental health and all that stuff with in regards to that. But it's there's a lot of situations, there's a lot of scenarios that could be broken down. But in regards to just foundation, first of all, figuring out what situation you're in. Like, is it just a rumor that nobody has approached you with, and you just hear it through the grapevines? The last thing you need is to scream at everybody saying, I know you heard this. I know you heard that. That is true. That is false, or that is whatever. No, not true, not true.
Embrace it. Say it's true and move forward.
That is false. Like yelling in the halls and saying all these things, that's not gonna be good, because people are just gonna, first of all, no one's gonna respond to you. They're just gonna look at you weird and then be like, yo, whisper, yo, he's lying. Like, they're just gonna whisper and not respond to you, and basically think that whatever they said about you is going to be even more true, just because of how human nature is. But the best thing you got to do is first figure out what the situation is, figure out who you can talk to, whether that's a higher power, whether that's a close friend that always believes in you, whether that's a teacher, a guidance counselor, a parent, a cousin, or whomever, to talk about the situation. Because the last thing you want is to bear all this burden all by yourself. You have to console that with someone, to release that from something, whether it's through working out or whatever, because that is the best way to deal with it, in regards to like managing it and making sure you don't explode right away, because you're always talking to someone about it. So you're releasing, you're ranting, you're getting all that out of your system. And maybe you work out just to get out of the system. This is just to get out of your system in regards to dealing with it, in regards to just the daily process of conducting yourself in the best way you possibly can, when so many people are giving you all this negativity in a social setting. You got to be respectful, you got to be who you are, and you got to stand by who you are. Everyone's gonna have a lot of things to say about everybody, no matter if you're this tall, this weight, this height, this skin color, whatever. Everyone's gonna say something. So the best thing you can do is to always stay true to yourself, and conduct yourself in a more professional setting, not super professional, uptight, but just a more professional setting than you usually would be in a social setting. So in regards to, let's say someone comes to you and just starts cussing at you in your high school. Let's say this next girl or next guy starts cussing at you or whatever in high school, in the halls. Be professional. Like, listen to what they said. Don't cuss at them. If they fight you, that's a whole different scenario. That's a whole different conversation. But in regards to just verbal arguments and stuff like that, conduct yourself in a professional way. If they start yelling at you, cussing at you, don't raise your voice to their level. Let them come down to your professional, calm, cool, collected level. Be respectful. Listen to everything they said. Maybe you can resolve that whole situation right then and there, but you raising your level of voice, punching at them, cussing at them, will just lead to nothing but bad for both parties. But if you stay calm, cool, and collected, listen to what they're saying. Okay, so this is how you feel about me. Okay, so this is what you heard about me. Okay. First and foremost, be honest. Everything that you're saying to me right now, in that level, in that tone, I don't appreciate it. So I would really appreciate if you could lower your voice for just a couple seconds, because people are watching us, and this is just between you and I. If you were really wanted this situation to get resolved, let's talk outside when nobody is watching, when there's no cameras, so we can resolve this between the two of us. And then after that, you just start talking to them. What's the problem? What's the situation? How can we resolve it? People get so chat, oh, back and forth, then fighting and this and that. Like, people like, yo, stop this childish, immature foolishness. Just talk to each other and be like, okay, what's the problem? What's the situation? Can we resolve it as friends, or do we have to just separate from each other entirely? Just figure out that ish. You're in high school, you're in your social setting. Friends are with you, but those same friends can leave you. Therefore, and there's almost 8 billion people in the world. So if this friendship or relationship doesn't work out, it will work out with another person. I'm not saying never let people in or never trust anybody or anything like that, but you have to be respectful and have pride in yourself, and don't allow someone's negativity or anger or frustration, don't allow that to bring you down to their level, but actually bring people to your level, so you can talk to them in a more professional way and they can hear you. Because if they're just loud, they won't hear what you're saying. So if you're always respectful, if you're always polite, if you're listening to what they're saying, and you're talking to them one-on-one, in away from the crowds and the cameras and the world stars and all of that stuff, and you're just communicating with them and figuring out what we can do to resolve this issue, you will have no regrets by the end of the whole situation.
Factual. Well said. How do you kind of convert that same type of energy, that same type of mindset for like a more interpersonal type of situation? Like
Yeah.
let's say you're at a family gathering, you're at a
Mhm.
wedding, and
Mhm.
you hear some ish from Susie Q who married your cousin,
Mhm.
so she's at the wedding. So you hear some negative ish from a family member, something like that. Or let's just say this is the worst case scenario, but your actual partner is spreading
Oof.
misinformation, spreading negativity,
Mhm.
amongst your friends, amongst your group of people. So
Yeah.
how do you
Yeah.
proactively go about communicating your disdain for that?
Yeah. So the things with friends, it's easy to kind of deal with hate and negativity because you'll like in a certain environment, in a certain setting, you're not always going to see them forever. Like high school, yes, you see someone 5 days a week, whatever, but after high school, after those 4 or 5 years, you're not going to see them on a daily basis. Like there are certain friends I saw in high school that I don't see every day. I see them like once every 6 7 months, and COVID is not making anything easier. So in regards to when people are spending negativity to you as friends, you can kind of find your way and do this and that and deal with it and just not associate with them because you have this group of friends that actually do appreciate you. You don't have to hang out with this person because of this and that reason. You can hang out with that person to kind of fill you with that love that you need. But with family, it's someone you see on a daily basis, or not really see on a daily basis, but you associate with them on a daily basis because they're your blood. You see them at the family reunions, you're in the group chats, you're in the like family rumors spread like wildfire and everything. So the best thing you could do is to again pull them to the side. And if you can't see them in person, call them up one time. Just be like, hey, how you doing? Everything good? Family's good? Your health is good? All right, cool. So I heard this thing and I just want to address this with you and I want to talk to you about this and I want to know why you are doing this, why you are acting like this, because I get how we're family. I get how we're blood. So the first person you should protect is your family, your friends, and then maybe a 1-2 stranger if you're feeling like Superman. But or Superwoman or Wonder Woman or whatever, anything, you know. The point
There's
is,
a superwoman. There's a superwoman.
I knew it, right? Yeah, there's a thing
Yeah.
in DC and everything. Anyway, the point is, I know we're family, I know we're blood, and I know, we're associated with each other. Whether we see each other on a daily basis, we are associated with each other to the day we die. So I just want to know what is going on with this and that reason, respectively. I just want to listen and I'll give you my response because what's going on is not in my favor. What's going on with these rumors is not the truth. And I want to know why you started it because I want to
Or is
resolve
the
it.
truth and why you snitching? Sorry, continue.
That's a whole different conversation if it's true. But why are you doing this? What's happening? I thought we were cool. I thought this. I thought that. Give your opinion. Make it concise though, because you want to hear what they have to say. You don't want to give them a reason. You don't want to give them more time to think of an excuse. So just be concise with it. Hey, what's up? How's it going? I heard you're doing this. Okay. I want to know why, because what's going on with me mentally, personally, I don't like it, and I want to know why you started this thing. Per obviously, any engagement is always better in person, always better in person, because you're confident, you have no you're bold, you're like going into an engagement that you don't like, and you're like, yo, listen, what you're doing is not good, and I don't like it, but I want to talk to you about it because I want to resolve it. That shows your confidence, your energy. You know what I mean? That's like confident energy that negative people, peasants can't relate to because that's king and queen energy. You feel me? But in regards to virtual, just call them up. Hey, can I if you don't have their number, if you have their Instagram or whatever, or get it from someone because this is a problem that needs to be resolved right now. Get it from someone. Let them, whether it's Instagram video chat, Skype, FaceTime, Google Duo, whatever it may be. Figure out a way to see them, not call them, see them in the face, look at them in their eyes, because you never know who they may be around. You never know who they may be around to give them the words, because they can, when you're talking, they could put themselves on mute and then, so what do I say in this scenario? What do I say in this scenario? Okay. Unmute. Yeah, so this is why I said this. This is why I said that. So you want to see them in person. You want to, or see them or FaceTime video wise, and give them that eye contact. I forgot to mention eye contact, but before, give them that that eye contact that they will literally cannot escape from, because you know that you are not a bad person, but you are just being put in a scenario where the devil is trying to play games with you through these people, and you want to stay a good person with no with being unbothered and feeling all the positive energy, but the devil wants to play games through this person and try to bring you down with sadness and negativity. So if you look at them with genuine eye contact of, I care for you, I want this to work out, I want to resolve the situation, I am happy, I don't want your negative energy or this kind of negative energy in my life, and if we can't resolve this right now, let it be known, and then we can go our separate ways. Rumors and everything, negative, this and that. Not everyone's gonna like what you do for a living, but if it's someone that you can possibly talk to about it, then try and resolve this issue with them. Talk to them, communicate with them, listen to them, and say your genuine and honest response. If it's keyboard warrior 123, don't care about keyboard warrior 123, because keyboard warrior 123 is always gonna have issues with you. But if it's your family member, it's your friend, talk to them genuinely and honestly and wholeheartedly.
Factual. I have nothing to basically add to that. That was amazing. Well said. And the eye contact goes throughout all of these questions, all of these different tier lists. Because eye contact is a big part of body language. That's what makes body language so engaging.
Yeah.
Right? And yeah, thank you, Brian.
Yeah.
Thank you for your information. I'd like to shout out Officer Chris for that king and queen and peasant comment, because I know he's gonna be mad that you didn't give him his respect.
Yeah.
And all his line of thinking and the way he speaks without giving any credit to him. So shout out to Officer Chris.
Now I see why he complains about that.
Yeah. Just gonna take.
I didn't even think that I did.
I took it and that's why I was laughing. I'm like, just gonna plagiarize and just not cite your sources. That's crazy.
I didn't. Oh yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
That's so crazy.
Yeah. Anyway, thank you, Brian. You can now do the outro of the video, because you're a thief, and I'm not gonna spread any rumors. I'm gonna spread facts about you, Officer Chris.
Always give me genuine focus eye contact. But who I'm giving eye contact with? The people on the YouTube platform, but the people on the audio platform, just look into the mirror or something. I don't know. Thank you for tuning in for another episode of Unlock Your Potential Excellence. We really do appreciate you guys for listening thus far. I hope you guys were able to learn a couple things. I learned some stuff. Tevin, did you learn some stuff?
Yeah, give or take.
All right, we'll take that. Don't forget to like or give this podcast a 5-star rating, depending on where you're listening to, because we're internationally all over. We're socially international. We're internationally social. You feel me? I gotta work on that catchphrase. Support Potential Excellence even more by becoming a Patreon member filled with exclusive deals from $5 to $50 a month. That's patreon.podbean.com/U.Y.P.E. patreon.podbean.com/U.Y.P.E. If not, if you can't, if it's too much money for you a month, then you can share this episode with someone you think needs to hear what we just discussed, and let us know what you thought about today's podcast, or who you want to bring on today's podcast or any podcast, because we need people and y'all need to let us know. We would love to bring your friend, your this, your that, but let us know who you want us to bring on the podcast. Let us know. I'm looking right in the camera right now. Let us know who you wanted to bring into the podcast. Let us know what you want us to discuss on the podcast. And with that being said, with my ears. Wait, no, with that being said, with my mouth, that is so crazy. I'm going to just keep going, because please never forget that you have the potential to be excellent. Yeah, I'm looking at you. People on the audio platform, I'm talking to you. And subscribe to the unforgettable journey. Woo! 2019, we started something real special. Working hard every day to reach another level. I know it's evident, you feel that excellence. Just bring it all out and don't be hesitant. See, you're so wonderful.
wonderful in every single way. On a mission to be great, so move with no delay. Every single day you wake up, you're a king and queen. Shake it off, claim your crown, cause you're royalty.